Hello guys, and welcome to a new WARNO video today by me, Vulcan. Today I have for you a 4 versus 4 on Danger Hills, and in this one I'm going to be taking another look at the 5th Panzerdivision, which is the West German division on the Blue Force side. This game I wanted to show to you today because it had some really awesome moments in it at the beginning, middle and end. It was just an action-packed game, really good fun. Also a bit of an unorthodox strategy, and the other thing is I was playing it on lower income, so we were playing it on 0.75 income rather than the full like normal income, and that basically meant that the game was less spammy and much more tactical, and it definitely felt a lot better. Personally, I think it's really quite nice when you play on the 0.75 income, and I've been doing it a decent amount on the streams lately. But anyway, let's have a look at the units we're getting down. At the front here, I've got some Jäger. Currently, it's pretty meta to use recon infantry in order to take forward positions early on in the game. And the Jäger are great for doing that because they're 11-man squads, very powerful, and yeah, decent at taking out vehicles as well because they do have AT. So you can kind of catch out early recon vehicles, and you can also maybe ambush enemy transports later on. Then I've got 2 of the Fernspeer. I've got an Alouette 2. I've got 2 Lux A1s. Down here, a couple of Fliegerfaust. Then there's going to be some more Fliegerfaust down here. I've got a Pioneer and 3 Sicherungs. I've got the Jaguar 2 and a Leopard 2A3 with the Panzergren in the Marder 1A3 there. So my plan for this game was to kind of squeeze between this fella, who doesn't have a name, so we'll just call him No Name, and then on the right we have Sturm. So I was just squeezing in between them two, and the idea was to put pressure onto Hotel, because Death Hill, or Danger Hill, sorry, is mainly a 3v3 map. It's supposed to be played as a 3v3, that's the way it was designed. If you play in a 4v4, you kind of have this 4th player who can kind of squeeze in certain corridors, so I could maybe like focus on this right hand side and maybe push Juliet, or in this case I'm squeezing in here. And my plan was to put pressure onto Hotel, and then also maybe move over into India. So you can see I'm deploying a lot of infantry into this tree line in order to secure this area, and that way have pressure over all of these roads that are leading to either point. There's some Spetsnaz coming in early on. That's 4 Mi-8Ts. On the right hand side, Potato Ghost is also giving Jagdsaws a hard time. There's a bunch of Spetsnaz crew here. You can see I have bought a Tornado though. Tornado MW1 with the lovely HE cluster. Can you tell where that's going? Well, it's giving it away there. Here it comes, the Tornado. Just as they land, bomblets away, and that's 4 Spetsnaz crew and their helicopters all destroyed. Very nice indeed. Sturmsaws coming in with an napalm, a little bit late there, but yeah, really good job. Use my Huey here to spot that after I dropped the Fernspeer off. So yeah, really nice burning pile of helicopters early on. However, on the right hand side, not the same thing really happening just yet. It's going to be a nice bombing strike onto the Mi-8s there, but there is still plenty of infantry hanging about. Koo's also brought over his Mi-8Ts, so things aren't looking too nice. The PVAD's just trying their best at the moment to try and shoot those down. So I've got into position here. Now, one thing you might have noticed at the start is I deployed my units on this road, but they actually drove up this road. And that was just my bad. I didn't really understand that it would be faster to go that way than it would be to go this way up towards this area. So, yeah. Anyway, Jaguar is firing away towards the BMP-2. We're going to be able to... I'll miss the first shot there, but the idea is to try and clean up these BMP-2s. Marder 1A3 is going to be engaging as well. Leopard 2A3 firing away. The Leopard 2A3 is just cleaning house here, it really is. This big boy in the trees here. Lovely stuff. Now we got to engage the Motostrauki in the open. The French are actually doing a really good job here. At the close range with the MP5s, I'm pretty sure these do like a decent amount of damage. It's really hard to tell sometimes how much damage infantry's doing, but the MP5 really actually doing a good job there, so that was nice. Managed to clean up all of those Motostrauki, obviously with the help of the autocannon of the Marder 1A3 and the Leopard main gun, so that was good. But meanwhile, I'm shifting up all of my units through here. I haven't really been bumping into anyone, like I'm not contested here. We've got Black T on the left who's fighting No Name, and then obviously we had the guy here who was pushing in towards Sturmsource. So currently Jagd is dealing with the double team on the right hand side. So as I was mentioning earlier, I could have probably tried to squeeze in this right hand side and push for Juliet, like Potato Ghost push for Alpha, but I chose to go in this area of the map instead. So what I've got to do is try and get an advantage out of this. I've got to try and counteract the loss in Alpha at the start. That's how I'm going to basically balance out the game. And it kind of sucks for Jagd at the start for sure, but yeah, we just got to do our job and capture these sectors or kill enemy leaders and so on. And I've managed to get these two Luxay ones in here. I'm going to send this one over to try and find the enemy command. If I could kill that command, that would actually take away this +3 sector from our opponents. So that would be really nice. Unfortunately, tank kind of spoils the fun there. Panzergrens are making some good ground though. Alouette's able to move up as well. And the Marder 1A3 has already moved into that tree line. So things are, you know, relatively barren here. And I've been able to get into really good position. Like the Jaeger Aufklärer being all the way up here is really good because they're going to provide great recon onto the reinforcements and also onto the left hand side, which No Name's dealing with very, very nicely. He's got an aero rifle right in the back line there. And the M3A1 Bradley trying to kill the T64BV. Definitely has a good chance to do so. If that lands 2 HGMs on target, that goes boom. And there it goes. Nice kill. Mi-24 on the left, look at that. These Iglas do fire really, really fast. I was trying to use the Yak B to shoot down the scout. So cool. Anyway, on the left you can see the Jaeger Aufklärer have spotted the Borussia. I've just got all my units chilling out here for the time being as I'm bringing up some more reinforcements. So I've got 2 Gepard 1A1s on the way and I've got the Leopard 2A3. The reason I'm bringing up the double Gepard is because I currently have 2 Leopard 2A3s, so I really need to make sure that they are safe, or at least that I can trade with enemy aircraft that come in. And then there's the 2 Marders with the 1A3 Milans, which should be good enough to, you know, shoot the Milan 2 at a distance and do some decent damage there. Yeah, right side hasn't ended too well. The opponents actually managed to capture Alpha, so they are now able to reinforce from this sector, which isn't good. It leaves us in a bit of a predicament here. They're currently sitting at a +4, so I've really got to get a move on, push into here, and try and do my best. Pioneers lucky to be alive, just about managed to unload them in time. Panzergrens with the Panzerfaust trying to get rid of the T-80U. Unfortunately in the front armour that T-80U is not going to be taking any damage. And you can see both my looks got taken out eventually. Now I've got to use the Jaeger Aufklärer on the Sicherungs, try and kill off this infantry. Su-22 HE bomber comes in, wipes out my Sicherungs very quickly indeed. But the double Marder there actually doing a really good job supporting that attack. And over time, you know, the accuracy increases on those autocannons, so they do start to do a decent amount of damage after they fired a while. Now I'm going to send some support over to Jagdsource. I've got 4 of these Leopard 1A1A1s. The idea being that these can provide some like open range fire support for any infantry. that Yag's going to bring over, because Yag is playing the 8th Infantry, so he should have plenty of infantry that he can use to support. However, he is of course trying to deal with, well, I guess Potato Ghost in Echo, while I believe maybe Ku was pushing out in Alpha. So I'm going to try and get rid of this T-80. That's certainly going to be one thing that I need to do. I'm trying to get the Leopard 2A3 here to move up and get a shot on target. Unfortunately, we don't quite have line of sight there. Marder 1A3s, the idea was to zoom the Marder 1A3s up and fire the HGM into the side of the T-80U while the Leopard 2A3 was engaging it directly. But I didn't exactly time it right, and you can see the Marder 1A3 just got absolutely like rinsed there. PVAD's now moving up. The PVAD's currently sounds kind of strange in my opinion. I think at the time I was just being an absolute child and just laughing at the sound of that. But either way, T-80 gonna get killed. Leopard 2A3 managed to get the first shot off. Strela 10M does come and shoot down my Huey, but doesn't really matter too much as I can trade with the Strela 10M. I'm going to be perfectly happy with that engagement. And with that, I managed to get quite a lot of infantry into this area now. So we've got a really good sort of foothold into Hotel, and I have an Iltis Führungs, which is going to be moving in to help countercap. And that's going to bring things back down to just a +1 for our opponents, whilst we try and sort out the problems in Alpha. If we can manage to take out the enemy command, then, you know, it would even go in our favour, so that would be good. We would actually be at a +2. Here comes Sturmsource with his napalm, some cluster, looking to try and find the enemy leader. I'm going to be bringing in my unit though, and well, he managed to find it. And my Iltis Führung is going to cap the point, and that's actually going to cancel out the current +3 that our opponents had. So we've managed to make our moves into Hotel. Our double team into Hotel has worked out nicely. Their double team into Alpha worked out. So it's really up to us now to try and bring this back on the right hand side. It's easier for us to take back Alpha than it is for them to take Hotel, because they've got to deal with like the open range engagement. Leopard 2A3 managing to get a lovely kill there onto another T-80U. And the Leopard 2A3s, you know, they're not as strong as Leopard or as the T-80Us, but as long as I can get the first shot off, I should be fine, because the Leopard 2A3s have enough penetration, like 19 penetration, to do like over 5 points of damage in the first shot at closer ranges. So I'm able to two-shot the T-80U. So as long as I get the first shot off, that's absolutely fine, because they're not going to be one-shotting me with a T-80U either. And I have plenty of infantry here. I've got like the Pioneers, the Sicherungs, and I've got lots of recon. I've got like the Jäger Aufklärer, or the Fernspeer that I'm now moving up as well. On the left-hand side, we've got the Jäger Aufklärer moving up. I've got the Fernspeer keeping an eye on things. Gepard's going to move up and try and find the kill onto the Mi-24V. Unfortunately, not finding line of sight. BTR 60 going to go down. My Pioneers though, with that hand Flampatron, they get some decent shots in. You're going to do a lot of damage at range with those for sure, especially if the Uzi is able to fire. Right, my Leopard 1A 101s really didn't do too well over here. They eventually all went down. So I had to kind of change the idea that I had, and you can see that I brought in a bunch of infantry. So I've got 2 Jäger Aufklärer, 2 Jägers, and 2 the Pioneer Flam. The Pioneer Flam being good for the infantry, Jäger Aufklärer just for recon and also against enemy infantry and armor, and then the Jägers provide the extra Panzerfaust against armor. And I've also got a Panzergrenführer on the way that I'm going to be trying to use and be ready to use to recap or countercap Alpha. I'm still trying to put pressure on the corner of the sector here. You can see that they are trying very hard to take this back. They're not in the most ideal position to do so, because they're kind of cornered in the sector, and what that can do is lead to them being easy bombing targets. I was quite lucky there that one of the MiGs didn't actually get the kill onto the Gepard. This one did go down, unfortunately. But here, once again, the T-80 is blind. And the Leopard does get off the first shot, but it is going to find one kill. I'm just trying to finish off that T-80, and then if I trade a Leopard 2A3 for a T-80U, that's a win for me. And this one going down, that was unfortunate. I didn't manage to micro it back in time to get it out of line of fire of the 2 T-80Us that were there at the time. But currently, still a +1 for the opponents. But we have killed a lot of stuff here. Like 3 T-80Us going down already is actually really big. And you can see that my Jaeger Aufklärer moving up here and spotting the Kub has caused them to get hit by the artillery of No Name on the left. A3 currently trying to engage the Motorstrelki. Watch the beautiful Leopard in action. Then meanwhile on the right, infantry's still trying to push through here and gain some ground in Alpha. I'm really hoping that my combination of forces here is good enough. OSA AKM probably turned off and then turned back on to avoid the seed missile of the Raven. There is also a bunch of like manpads in the forest here, which were actually really well placed in order to catch out any aircraft that flew overhead. And the Raven is going to go down because of that. Meanwhile, Su-24 coming in for the cluster onto the Leopard 2A3, and that is all she wrote for that Leopard 2A3. Kind of unfortunate. Not really much I can do about it. The only thing I can try and do is trade the Su-24 at that point. You know, when it brings in those cluster munitions, it's really hard to like stop them dropping the munitions in the first place, right? So the combination of forces here from Ku is kind of scary. Like having the T-80B supporting like Spetsnaz is really rough for my Jaeger, because the T-80B can help pin down the enemy really fast, like in which case are my Jaegers. And you can see my Jaegers in the front armor only doing like one damage per hit onto that T-80B, so it's really doing a number on my forces right now. I managed to get the Panzerdivision into the sector, and that's really important because it stops him bringing in any reinforcements that he needs over here. And now the key is to really just make sure that we kill like the enemy forces here. There's a BRDM that's outside of the sector at the moment, but the T-80U here has line of sight onto my leader, and that's going to go down. The BRDM wasn't actually the one that was capturing. I believe Ku was using that to give veterancy to his forces, so they managed to absolutely clean house with my infantry on that side, which was unfortunate. Su-22 M4 does manage to get rid of one of my Jaeger Aufklärer on the left. The FRP Ronin 2 have arrived though, and they're going to be able to shut down enemy aircraft that come overhead. Try and take down the MiG-23 MLA. It does manage to get away from us that time around, although that MiG going very deep there. We're going to take down that one. Yes, we are. Roland manages to catch it. And MiG goes down. Look how far that went. That went so far. It's because they fly so fast. My Panzergrens doing their best to take on the Motorstrelki. I'm keeping this Fernschbeer on return fire so that it doesn't reveal its position. That way I can maintain my recon here and just fire at anything that comes into the edge of the tree line. Same deal on over here. You know, these Jaeger Aufklärer, I think I probably had them on return fire at the time, and that just allows me to maintain my recon in the open ground, and then the Leopard 2A3 and the Marder can engage them. So Gepard coming over, getting plenty of damage in there. One of the missiles from the Chaparral takes that down. My Marder 1A3 does get killed off because there is another T-80U here. My Leopard 2A3 was left on less than half health, so just trying to get that out of line of sight, the T-80 you right now. Gepard did move up into this tree line. My mistake, really, for thinking that that would actually be hidden there. And that also gets taken out. So I am losing some stuff unnecessarily, but we're going again for another push through the trees here on the right. It's kind of important that we do take back Alpha, because that's the main reason at the moment that we're losing the points. So, like, yes, we've managed to contest Hotel, but as long as they hold Alpha, that's bad for us. Like, if we contest this, then technically we get the +1. So even if we can just do that, that's good enough. So I'm bringing in a couple of these Pioneer Flam again. I've got the Marder 1A3 Milans this time. I've got 3 of those with the Panzergrens. Actually 4 of them. So I'm hoping that these will be better for taking out the tanks at close range. His HGMs are actually not too bad at close range. The time to target of the missile is a lot less, so you can actually get some decent damage in quite quickly. MI-24 looking for my Jaeger Aufklärer. They have been forced out of the cover there. I can't remember what spotted them, but either way, they ended up falling back. And yeah, that's going to cause them to go down as the MI-24 makes short work of them. You're now supporting the Jaegers of Jagd. I'm looking to get another Panzergrenadier into this sector. Really need to try and take out this T-80B. As we're getting close to the enemy, I do unload all of my Panzergrens. I've got to be kind of careful. The artillery is coming in here. You see, I'm going to just try and pull my troops away from that for the time being. So I'm trying to avoid where I think that that's being fired. I do have a couple of these Fliegerfaust here. I think originally these were unloaded from the start, but then I like reloaded them into the Altus and I forgot about them, so that's my bad. So Pioneers trying to do their best against the Motorstrauki. And here come like the Marders. So the Marders pushing forwards like this should be able to take out the T-80 if they can get their Milan on target. Fortunately, one of the Milans does go down. As the T-80 is backing up here, it does start popping my Marders very quickly. The reason for that is because we're at such close range that even though the unit is moving, it's still very accurate, so it wasn't working out nicely for us. But Panzergren did manage to like countercap the sector, so we do now have the +1 here. Sturmsaw's still putting on really good pressure into Hotel, so we're trying to break this at the moment. And if you can find the command here, then we're going to be at a +4, which is, you know, comeback territory, because we are significantly behind at the moment. That poor Elouet comes up, gets shot at by anti-air. Igler goes down. I'm bringing in the tornadoes. Just looking to get all the kills in there. I knew that there was at least one command in. I saw the BRDM move into the tree line, and I did kill that because you saw the points pop up. I believe in the current build, you can no longer see the points again in this game mode. So they actually did change that, because this is like on the second to last patch now that this game was played. Anyway, my Fuchs is going to be doing a little bit of recon here, driving up. I'm just trying to look for the enemy leader, and well, it turns out that the artillery or whatever might have killed it, and I've managed to capture myself an MTLB snap. So this is really good, because now we're able to bring in reinforcements here, and that's going to be a couple of M1A1s moving in, side-shotting the T-80, and that goes down nice and quickly. So yeah, we're now back in a really good position. We're +3. Just if we kill this, then we're going to be at like a +6. And Sturmsource with his F111Es, going to be able to hit nice and hard there. I do have obviously more reinforcements coming in here. A couple Marder 1A3s with the Panzergrens and the Fernspiel, another recon squad to help spot things further up. And I still have this good position on the left that I can springboard into India if I want to at any point. But because I've been so sort of preoccupied on the right side of the map at the moment, that's kind of been the priority. So do capture the other MTLB stab, but unfortunately that one is empty. But this one is going to be used to resupply my infantry here. And I think at this point I just brought up some reinforcements and then just assumed that Jagd would be relatively okay to deal with that himself, so I'm able to sort out my units on this side. Got some Leopard 1A 1A1s coming up, and they're going to be trying to help me take Hotel with Sturmsource. Black Sea actually making a push across the open here. T80B and the T80BV be able to do a lot of damage to any infantry that they spot. So the only bad thing about this attack is there isn't really much recon ahead. Like there's a recon behind, but ideally you want the recon ahead of your T80, and then you can have the tanks engage anything that they do spot. Do get the good kill there onto the SU-22, like with the Roland 2s hanging about with all the Fliegerfaust, and we're able to do a decent amount of damage to any aircraft that come overhead. So BRDM does get found, Sturmsource pushes through there nicely. And that's going to give us the +6 now in this game. We've managed to completely clean out this area. The Leopard 1A5s dealing with the T80B that was left. I'm just spreading them out either side of the spawn to make sure that nothing else gets killed as it comes in. Another SU-24 going to go down there, another cluster 1. Take it out. Very nice indeed. And yeah, the Leopard 1A 1A1s, you can see I've kind of changed the... oh no, never mind, that's the Unimog. Yeah, the Unimog's coming in here to provide just some ammunition onto these AA pieces. So now the 1A5s coming away from the spawn on the right. The intention was to help against potato ghosts. Another T80B that my Leopards are going to have to deal with. Frenchspear trying their best. Unloading them. To look for the Mojostrelki there, but yeah, good kill. These Leopard 1A5s are really good value for money. That's like an 80-point tank. And we just killed like a 160-point tank there with that. Just really nice because they have really decent accuracy. Anyway, as I was mentioning earlier, I did eventually change tack with the Leopard 1A1s with the intention to push into India. So I'm bringing over the extra units that I had behind, the 2 Marder 1A3 Milans with the Panzerdivision in, and also the 2A3, and the idea is to kill the command in India and just basically secure the victory, because currently we're at a +6. As long as we continue to hold Alpha, that should remain the case. My Leopard 1A5s are going to go and support in Echo, so that should give Jagdsource a hand, and with the pressure we're putting into India, it's going to make things even more difficult for the opposing team. Panzer Grenadiers, though, do get caught out by the Mojostrelki. I think the RPG here annihilated both of the Marders and left my Panzergrens in a bit of a predicament. But the Jäger Aufklärer able to move up and give them a hand. Full house squad there, going to be decent. So Frenchspear trying to push forwards here on the right hand side just to spot anything that's kind of left over. There's of course the BMP 1Ps, but the Kiowa trying to take care of that. 2A3 moving up there. Oh, nice bombing strikes coming in. Looking for the kill onto the enemy command. The 1A 1A1s firing away. BMP2 goes down. Sturmsource has also brought over his M1A1s and also his Apache. Watch the Apache Apaches fly forwards with their ground forces. Look how cool that looks on the ground there, with the tanks driving across the open. Really, really cool. Another T-ATU did go down. Managed to kill that with the Leopard 105s. Just superior numbers there, winning out. Really, really nice. And the Leopard 1A1 just charging through the trees. Citadungs, Panzer Grenadiers, trying to follow up. Apache going for the BMP-13. We did manage to find and kill the command here. And with that, it's going to give us India, which allows us to bring in stuff from the land spawn on the left. But more than that, it's going to push us to a +8 on the victory. My 1A5s are slowly but surely getting cut to pieces in the face of superior Soviet armor. But they've done a decent amount of damage and slowed down our opponents long enough for us to secure the win here. We've got these Pioneers and Panzerguns. They're going to just move up the side of the map just in case. And check out these Leopard 1A1s. I'm just zooming towards the enemy in that sector, looking for the enemy command. Unfortunately, Leopard gets taken out in the open, but that doesn't matter. It's game over, and we take the victory. So yeah, a very awesome and dynamic game that was created by the 4v4, because it just depended where like the extra person went. So in my case, I went on the left side, like in between the two players, and then on their team they had the two players on like our right and pushed into our spawn sector. So yeah, it was really, really fun. Awesome tornado at the start there, did a great job. Took out all of those Mi-8Ts with the Spetsnaz early on. That really gave us a head start into Hotel. The Leopards performed really, really well, taking out the T-ATUs throughout that game. And then the Rolands were actually getting quite a lot of kills onto the enemy aircraft as well. The Su-22s going down quite a lot, and also some of the Su-24Ms. Especially like the cluster ones, taking those out, super important for the continued use of the German armor. So yeah, it was all working out very nicely. And with some good use of recon, I managed to get the first shot on those Leopards a lot, and that's why we won a lot of those armoured engagements. So in the end, 5,610 kills to 3,370 losses. But yeah, that's it. Just thought it was a fun game that I wanted to show you guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.